it's Linda here. Thanks for joining me today as I play with these goodies from Happy Little Stampers. I'm using my Brushos and the Simply Said stamp set mainly today. So I'm starting off here just creating a little coloured piece with my Brushos, and I will be stamping on that the two of the hearts from the Simply Said set and cutting them out for my card. So I know I want greeny blue background, so I'm using turquoise, leaf green and emerald green, and I've sprayed my Canson watercolour card first just with clean water, dropping the Brusho powders onto it, and then you'll see me here grab my little mini misty sprayer and give it a few more sprays there. Just needed a little bit more water just to move the powders around. And then I'm looking at it thinking a little bit more turquoise is what it needs before I allow it to dry. So I've added a bit more turquoise and now a few more sprays of clean water, and then I allow it to dry for a couple of hours. And this is the end result, and I'm very happy with that, and I'll put it aside to stamp on later. Now I'm creating my background using these beautiful big sentiments from the Simply Said stamp set. I've chosen a range of ink pad colours that will go with my brushed background. So I've got some blues and greens, and I'm changing the angle of my word congrats as I stamp it down each time onto my background piece. This one here, I'm using the ink colour Ocean Waves from Altenew, and I often have this issue with this little ink pad. It does not give me a nice clean and crisp stamping. It always leaves little gaps. So this is how I get around that problem. I'm using here a Stampin' Up blender pen, which I've had for a zillion years, and I just pick up some of the ink that I've smushed down onto my acrylic block there. I pick it up with the blender pen and I just draw it into the places where there's little white gaps in my stamping, and it does do the trick of adding in the ink where it was missed. Does anyone else have this issue? Because it's something that drives me batty with this wonderful craft of ours, and it doesn't happen all the time. It's just with certain inks, and I just wish I knew why and what I could do that would help it, but it certainly happens with that Ocean Waves ink pad for me. Right, so my stamped background is now all finished, and I'm just looking at my card front there thinking I'm going to fill in some little stamped detail into those gaps in between the large sentiments. So I've picked the tiny little solid circle from the Mix Mash stamp set, and I've picked a couple of Versacolour inks, yellow and lime green, and I'll be using those just to add this little circle detail. It's now time to create my little brusho heart elements, which will go in the centre of my card. So I've stamped the heart from the Simply Said stamp set twice onto my brushoed piece, and I'm just fussy cutting those hearts out, and they'll go in the middle where I'm placing this little die cut element here. Using this memory box die, just cut that from the centre of my sentiment piece, and I'll pop that bit up with some foam tape in a minute, or craft foam. First of all, I'll just adhere this piece with my tape runner, and then back the little die cut area with some craft foam. And I'm using this triple tack glue from Expressit. Find it great, nice and reasonably priced, and it dries matte, which is fantastic. Now I'm just adding a bit of the craft foam to my little hearts as well, and I know that I want one little heart to sit above the other, so I'm sort of snipping off the edge of the craft foam there. I'm not sure which one's going to sit up yet, so I end up doing that for both of them, just so I'll be able to lie one on top of the other without the craft foam getting in the way. And the final little detail for my engagement card is this little "On Your Engagement" sentiment to go with the congrats. So I'm just cutting that down, giving it a little fishtail banner end there, and then it will be adhered across my heart.